guys, welcome back to the Jower, and I'm Jay Milano.
And I'm Jay Leno.
And today we just actually went and saw the new Minions: Rise of Gru.
Yeah.
We wanted to do our first full movie review. We've done the two TV shows, but this will be our first movie review. And so I wanted to start it off and say that this is a spoiler, of course, but I really felt that this movie connected really well to the other movies. It tied in all sorts of stuff that we saw. It connected everything really well. I like the subtle touches, like Vector's dad. He was like a clerk and he hadn't yet become the owner of the evil bank or the head of it.
You mean Dr. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Vector's dad. And then Dr. Nefario, of course. Yes,
Dr. Nefario. I thought that was
young Dr. Nefario. That was great.
And how Dr. Nefario kind of meets Gru and how he joins kind of his, crew.
That's great. And there's also more subtle touches, like Gru's dog was in it.
How old is that dog?
That dog must be really
old. That dog must be 30 years old.
And then, we saw Gru's mom, as we saw from Despicable Me 3.
Yeah.
We saw him growing up, going to school.
We saw a photo of Vector on his dad's desk, which is very cool. Actually, I believe that photo we saw in the original Despicable Me.
Yeah, and it tied the characters from the Minions movie to this movie really well. It had the three main characters.
Kevin. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, I felt that this movie, on another note, it appealed to a range of audience members. I felt like it was targeted, I guess, for young kids, but kids or teenagers or people that originally watched the first Despicable Me's that really liked it also went and see this movie. So it applied to a wide range of viewers.
There are some really interesting scenes where I feel like maybe some of the earlier Despicable Me's, if they didn't know that some of the older kids would watch, they probably would have not had it. Like his mom having having weed, doing weed with.
It was suggested.
The other guy. I mean, yes,
it was implied. It was implied.
But her, what would you even call it?
It was like her
yoga, boyfriend.
I didn't know.
Very interesting scene, very groovy from the '70s kind of style.
On another note,
that ties into,
I really like the cool '70s theme.
Yeah, so that also kind of plays that. If Gru we see in the original Despicable Me's is the 2010 kind of era, that means Gru is probably what would that be
He's
50 in his 40s.
He's a lot older than we originally thought he was. Yeah.
Yeah, I originally thought he was 44.
I thought he was younger. I thought he was his early 30s maybe.
Yeah, he looked it, but I kind of felt he kind of acted like his 40s.
Yeah. And also, on the other note, the 70s, I like the hair, the music.
Oh,
the music was
that was
great.
Very groovy.
The music was great.
Very groovy. The main villain, which we'll touch on a little bit more later, she was really cool. She kind of had the afro, which in my opinion kind of really symbolizes the 70s, and the pink clothes and the really popping colors that really symbolize the 70s without even have to specifically say the 70s.
Yeah. On another note, I really liked how the movie, I don't know, you had the main characters, it's all based on evil and how Gru's evil. And, the originals, you had Gru as a villain, but he was also protagonist.
Yeah.
It showed the good side of evil.
Yeah.
And also this movie did the same thing with White Knuckles and how he turned to be a nicer guy, and he mentored Gru, and he was still evil, but he was also a good guy, and I feel like that was really cool.
Yeah, in the beginning we see White Knuckles, he was kind of like this. Originally he was this super villain. He was a pop star in the super villain underworld, and then when he gets betrayed by the other members of the Six or
Furious Six or something
Six,
like that.
He becomes this kind of sad old man who's hell bent on revenge. But then through Gru, he starts realizing you see this nicer side of him, and he starts becoming this almost father or uncle figure to Gru, who becomes a mentor.
Yeah.
And later in the story, when he gets burnt up by the dragon, you see how Gru really cares for him, and he's really sad at the end with the funeral. But White Knuckles comes back, and they kind of go off together.
Yeah. Speaking of the dragon, my only slight criticism of this movie, it's very slight, and it's my only one, but it included more of a fantasy part. You had the whole medallion or whatever, and you had the fact that it could turn them into dragons and stuff. That was the only part that was my only little criticism, because normally it's sci-fi with all the gadgets and stuff, and this was more of a fantasy kind of thing. But it was still cool.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it and disliked it. I disliked it for that reason, where it's a little bit too fantasy, or this was more sci-fi, more futuristic. But I also like that they had the different animals, which were the Chinese New Year's animals.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that was
like
cool.
the,
It was a nice touch.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Um,
My last
yeah.
topic is that young Gru. I really liked seeing his whole character progression, how he builds to how he is in the original Despicable Me's. You know, he still has his inventions. They're not as advanced, but they're still there, and you can see how he becomes the character he later is.
Yeah, touching on that actually, one of my favorite scenes is the cheese ray, which kind of hails back to the old freeze ray scene we all know and love from the original Despicable Me.
That was a nice touch.
That was a great scene. I also liked at the end where Dr. Nefario shows him this a new ship, which we see in Despicable Me 1.
Yeah, and I also liked going back to Dr. Nefari. I liked how he met him and how you see the progression of the gadgets over the years, like how he uses the sticky hand and all that, and it eventually leads to him having all the gadgets in the originals.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, it also actually, we didn't really talk too much about the Minions, but it also kind of touched on how Gru meets the Minions.
Yeah, that was relationship over time.
Yeah, and how originally he just kind of thought they were kind of a pain, and then how they became like partners.
Yeah. Well, this is our review of the Minions Rise of Gru. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys go and watch it. It's a great movie. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know down below what you thought, and like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you.